in the first book, you have the chapter Units and Dimensions. This is the first one.
Yes.
What is the combination of subjects that you have?
Biomath.
Both.
Yes.
Okay. And you're planning for any entrance exam also after 12th?
Right now, no.
Right now?
Right now, we haven't decided anything.
Okay. So yeah, units and dimensions, this is a chapter which is very easy and you'll be able to deal also. This isn't much difficult and this does not involve so much of physics. It's just that this gives an idea about the quantities that you have to deal throughout your class 11. So if time is left today only, I'll start with this chapter. Then you have kinematics portion, which is motion in a straight line. So some portion of maths is required in your physics that I'll be dealing with before the starting of this chapter, motion in a straight line. You have calculus part that you'll be doing in maths of your class 12th. So for 11th, we'll just take some of the classes where we'll be discussing differentiation, integration. Those are the mathematical physics part. So this is what is your motion in a, see, in motion in a straight line, basically, you had a chapter in class 9. Do you remember Introduction to Motion?
Yes.
So this is an extension of that chapter only. Basically, when one axis change, one coordinate changes, whether the body is moving along x-axis or along y-axis or z-axis, but only one axis. That is what is motion in a straight line. Then you have a chapter, motion in a plane. Do you understand plane, differences between axis and a plane?
Yes.
Plane basically means the space between two axes, right? So if I have x and y axis together like this, so this becomes plane. So if the motion of the body occurs in this plane, we say this is motion in a plane. Then you have the chapter laws of motion. In laws of motion, we basically deal with the forces, that why does the motion occur? Why does the body move? So this is there in your laws of motion chapter. Then you have a chapter work, energy, and power. So from the term, from the name only, it's clear that this talks about energies and power. There is one more topic, collision, which is there in this chapter only, but it's not mentioned in the heading. Then after all of these things, we have the rotational component. If a fan is moving, what's the force acting on that fan? If a body is moving in a circular motion, what all forces, accelerations are acting there? So this is dealt in this chapter. That is your motion in a that is your rotational motion. So complete chapter is systemic particles of rotation and motion and rotational motion. So I'm just writing rotational motion here. System of particles and rotational motion is the chapter. And then you have the chapter gravitation. So see, gravitation is related to the planetary motion. You will be able to calculate the forces between any objects in space, in Earth, on the surface of Earth, what all changes happen when you move from the surface of Earth. These are dealt in the gravitation chapter. Now, one more thing from your part 1 book. See, these are the chapters which you should focus on. These are tough also, and they're lengthy, and they require a good conceptual part. Okay, and if you are well versed with these chapters, it will be beneficial for you in class 12. There's a portion that we do before this chapter, motion in a plane, which is vectors. It's a part of motion in a plane only, but this is done separately, vectors. You must have heard vectors, scalars, these terms. So vectors are dealt here and how you have to deal with vectors. Vector calculation is different. That is not your simple algebraic addition. In your vectors, 5 plus 2 can be 10 also. This is that quantity and quantitative analysis. So we'll be discussing vectors here, and before the start of motion in a straight line, we'll be doing calculus. Calculus is done in the mathematics of class 12th. So in 12th maths, you will deal with calculus in detail. And gravitation chapter has the forces calculation and everything in terms of masses. So there's a chapter in your class 12th. As soon as you will step in class 12th, you can replace the same formula with charges, and your 12th first chapter, some portion will also be done. So just focus on this chapter in that manner that you have to appear to a similar chapter like the gravitation. This is what's there in your first book. Then in your second book, part 2, see, when you have three states of matter, when we deal with the mechanical properties of solids, it means, see, mechanical means something that is related to change in pressure, change in temperature, like not temperature, sorry, change in length, change in volume. Like, see, if this is a solid object, I'm compressing it. So will the volume change? If I'm pulling it, will it get elongated? If this is the motion that is occurring. So changes in length, volume, shape, these are dealt in the chapters like mechanical properties of solid, and it's a very easy, very short chapter. It gets completed very quickly. There is a chapter, mechanical properties of fluids. This is a very big chapter. It has two portions. One is hydrostatics, where the fluid is not moving, and one portion is where the fluid is moving, hydrodynamics. You must have done Archimedes principle. Remember Archimedes principle, buoyant forces and all. Those
Yes, yes.
are done in this chapter. In detail, the mechanism is seen. Then we talk about the heat and heat related changes like temperature. So if temperature is present, then in different thermometers, how will we calculate it? Different thermometers, different values of the units of temperature. Like if you have to convert one temperature in Fahrenheit or from Fahrenheit to Celsius like this, that you will be able to deal in the chapter thermal properties of matter. And here we see for all the states of matter in one complete chapter. This is interesting. This chapter has few derivations only. Then there's a chapter, kinetic theory. See, kinetic theory basically is a theoretical chapter. You have postulates, some experiments were done which have the final results, and you just need to remember the results. It's like, if this is basically about gases. So if you have in a box or in a chamber, you have left the molecules. So what all things can happen? Will the molecules rotate? Will they collide with themselves? Like these things. So some postulates are done. That is dealt in this kinetic theory chapter. Then you have a chapter, thermodynamics. Thermodynamics means when the heat is flowing, what all processes are occurring. So this chapter is there in your chemistry also. In chemistry, same exact thermodynamics is there. It's just that few sign conventions and changes are done from your physics, but more or less the basic conceptual part of thermodynamics is the same in your chemistry and physics. And then you have the last unit, which is completely different. Waves and oscillations. See, waves chapters continuation is done in your class 12th also, wave optics. So whatever portion is done in waves, some extension of that is done in your class 12th, wave optics. So waves and oscillation is completely about if a wave is moving, what's the length of wave, how the frequency will be calculated, and everything related to wave. And oscillation basically means when the body is moving to and fro. So different systems are present, like your pendulum. If a pendulum is present like this, then it is oscillating. Then what all phenomena will occur, what will be the formula and all. So this is your overview of class 11. Let me start with units and dimensions. One more thing, Iqra, you should have the NCERT textbook with you, the class notes that we'll be doing, because in the class notes we'll cover every derivation, every definition, all the calculations based questions, all the theoretical questions. So class notes you should have, NCERT books you should have, though you must have already bought the book by now. Yeah.
Yes.
Then see, after every class, once a topic is done, after every class you will receive an assignment, a homework assignment. So those questions will be there, and after the means after one class, not today, after today's class only I'll give you homework, because in today's class we have not discussed anything. So from the next class you'll receive homework also, and before the beginning of every class we'll first discuss the homework questions. I'll you will upload your you will upload your unchecked assignment, and I'll just upload the checked one. So this way it will be reciprocated back to you. And apart from this, we will be conducting your test series also. Weekly tests will be there. So you have plenty of material to study from here. If you have time, you want to study, you can refer to any reference book like SL Arora. It's a good book which has many questions. But primary are these, because these things already have the important part. The previous year questions, or the questions that keep on repeating themselves in the school exams, these are taken in the class itself. Some important questions which are left and are not done in the class are given as homework. So more or less you'll have a lot of material to deal. So just study them, revise them, and whatever doubts you have, you can ask in the class. In between, you can ask. Chat box is there. You can type your doubt in the chat box. WhatsApp is there. Learnivio's number is available to you, so you can share your doubt. You can click the picture and send. So your doubt will be answered there also. So see, when we anything else you want to ask, Iqra?
Yeah, how many days are the classes in a week?
See, your batches timing, and that will be discussed after today's class, because your availability will be checked whenever, on what days you are comfortable to take the class. So depending upon you only, the classes will be fixed. You just talk to the team once, they'll call you, they'll talk to you after today's class. So you tell them your availability, you tell the preferred timings, you see whatever timings they will tell, because of my classes also. So according to that, your classes will be set, the batches will be told to you, so you can then talk to it. Okay, so this will be done by the
Okay.
operations team, this work. See, Ikram, see, I'll not go into the details much. From the next class onwards, we'll be properly doing this, but just a basic introduction of dimension analysis chapter. First of all, you should know what are physical quantities. So from the term physical, it's quite significant that physical means something that is present and can be measured, can be seen, it can be measured. So like if I give you a pen and I ask you the length of the pen, you can use a scale, you can tell me the length. If I ask you time, you can use clock, you can tell me the right time. For measuring the weight of something, you can use spring balance, you can use the weighing machine to tell the mass. So all these quantities are what they are, we are able to measure it. These are the physical quantities that are exist. And these quantities are of two types. You have two groups of physical quantities. One is the fundamental. Right now, no need to write anything. I'll give you time to copy. This is the fundamental group, and there is a derived group. See, what is the meaning of fundamental? Fundamental means something that is innate, that is intrinsic in nature. Means something which is already existing, and it does not have any formula of its own. For example, if I give you the example of length, length is the basic quantity, right? You just measure it, whatever is the reading on the scale is called as length. That's it. Length has no unique formula of its own, because it's a basic fundamental quantity. It's already present, and with the help of this, new quantities can be formed. So such quantities are called fundamental. They cannot be expressed in terms of any other quantity, but they will always help to form new quantities. Like you have the example of length, you have example of time. Time is basic. You have no formula that can give rise to time, or you can calculate. See, calculation of time will be done by the help of different formula for other quantities. From there you can extract time, but specifically for time you don't have any formula. Mass is the basic quantity. Likewise, you have charge, electric charge. These are fundamental quantities. And derived are when you are using these fundamental quantities and you are putting certain mathematical operations in between them to make a new quantity. Like if I say one example, length and time, these are all the basic fundamental quantities that are present. If I divide length and time, I get a new quantity, that is speed. So speed will be derived quantity. Acceleration, forces, which are made up of different quantities. They can be broken, they can be expressed in terms of different quantities. They are called as the derived. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, starting with the fundamental quantities, I'll give you time to copy just a small portion. See, there are various fundamental quantities which we have to do in detail. So what are these? They are those quantities that cannot be expressed in terms of other physical quantities. These are called as the fundamental quantity. Now, in your SI system, there are 7 fundamental and 2 supplementary. This SI system basically means standard, the international something. There's a French term. So basically, you can remember it like standard international system. There has to be a measurement, there has to be a standardization for the units that we use. If I measure something and I tell you the length is 100 centimeters, and you measure the same thing and you're telling me, no, the length is 1 meter. So are we both giving the different answers? I'm saying 100 centimeters. You're saying 1 meter. So 1 meter is actually equal to 100 centimeters only. So whose answer should be accepted, whether it's 1 meter or 100 centimeters? So for that, just standardizing, because there are numerous units: micrometer, nanometer, picometer, fermimeter, megameter, kilometer. There are so many units. So for that, there has to be a standard system which is accepted by all. And you have to give your answers in that. That is the SI system. So one example is like length. SI unit of length is meter. If you're getting the answers in different units, you have to convert it and write the unit as in meters. Like 1 micrometer is 10 to the power minus 6 meter. 1 angstrom is 10 to the power minus 10 meters. There are various units. So you will gradually be adapted to these units. Many of these units you don't have to do, some of them you have to do. And you will encounter these in the questions. So like lengths, SI unit will always remain meter. Similarly, for mass, it will always be kg, not grams. Or for time, it will always be seconds, not minutes, not hours, not days, not years, like this. So this is what is the SI system. So the SI system, it's a body which gives the standardization in physics. So there are 7 fundamental quantities listed by the SI system. Means these are fundamental and you can use these, put maths in it, put calculus in it, and then make derived quantities. And 2 additional quantities are mentioned along with it. So these quantities you have in your syllabus and you will be doing it in your class 11th, so that you're prepared. And this is just because it's the basic part and it's the starting of your physics. So if you are learning everything from the scratch, that will be beneficial for you, and all these things are there in your syllabus already. So fundamental quantities I'll start properly in the next class. First, you write down till here. Just text me in the chat column done, so I'll scroll it down. Is it clear till here, Iqra?
Yes.
Okay, Iqra. See, there's a small diagnostic test that will be taken. It will be conducted right now. That test is just to analyze how much you remember from your fundamental concepts of ninth and 10th. There won't be a single question from your class 11th or 12th. So whatever you already know, the basic maths that is required, like your linear equations and all basic maths that is required for solving a simple question of physics. So what we'll do, whatever you will remember, that will be checked. And if you are forgetting on some topics or something, then a bridge course will be provided to you, one class or two classes, depending upon your need. I think one class is enough in class 11th. So that test has to be conducted right now. So how the test will be done, let me tell you. There will be 8 questions and each question carries 3 marks. The first question carries 4 marks. So see, when you enter class 11, some understanding of the concepts are of your science and maths are required for physics, at least. Rest of the maths that is required and the maths that is from class 11th and 12th, that I'll teach. That mathematics part I'll teach you separately. But the maths of class 9th and 10th, I just want to see how much you already know, so that a bridge course can be provided. If you are able to answer the questions and you remember the basics, linear equations and all, solving cube roots, square roots and all, we'll directly proceed from the fundamental topics from where we have stopped our class. Is that clear, Iqra?
Yes, ma'am.
So see, Iqra, how we proceed with this test is, see, nowhere your marks will be added. It's just a test for judgment. So what you can do, Iqra, you can answer your questions like question 1, part 1, whatever is your answer, X, Y, Z, like this. You can type it in the chat column and gradually and slowly I'll be writing it in front of you. So this sheet will only act as your answer sheet, this one. So you do the rough work. I'll write your name. It's Iqra Jamil, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I've written your name. You can start with the test, and as soon as you'll complete the questions, you can tell me which, if you want to skip a question, directly tell me the question number and the answer of the question which you are providing. So gradually, I'll write it in front of you here only. I'll check it, and this will act as your answer sheet itself. So I have shown the questions, total 8 questions are there. This I will show later. First you solve it. If you feel like you're not able to answer first question, you solve second, but just in the chat column clearly mentioning which answer you are giving. Like if you started and you wanted to give the answer of question 5, so just mention question 5 and whatever is your answer. Okay, Kra, you can start with the test and chat box is open. You can text there your answer. I'll write it in front of you. Few minutes are left now.